One evening, we adventured deep into the rainforest to learn about the environment. A community leader, Victor, brought us through the rainforest, teaching us how they use each plant on a day-to-day basis.
And they have, they got a lot of mosquito bites and insects bites. That plant that looks like chicken tail.
Chicken tail.
They in hot oil, they extract the essence of the plant, and they just put the cream that results on the skin, and it will work pretty well. It has anti-itch properties. That one here.
Even though we had to hike several miles and face our fears by racing across the carts suspended hundreds of feet above the ground, the reward was worth it. Not to mention the wildlife along the way. One evening, we held our third annual Quebrada Arroyo soccer tournament, which we had been practicing for during the previous nights. And for the first time, instead of Ticos versus Gringos, Ticos and Gringos played together. Which was also the first time we stood a chance. None of that mattered though, because it allowed us to meet the entire community.
Guys, it was traditional that it was Gringos versus Ticos, whereas this year it wasn't. It was we mixed, and it was like very different. It wasn't segregated. I felt like a community, like they accepted us into their community, and we were just playing a game of soccer.
It was our last full day in the rainforest, and we worked through the morning by expanding and leveling the main road to Los Campesinos. Although the work was hard and our throats were parched, we wanted to help the residents of Los Campesinos out, since they had been so welcoming to us. And after the work was completed, the Ticos allowed us to cut a string that went across the road to signify their gratification for the grand opening of their new road. On the last evening, the town of Los Campesinos gathered together to throw us a party to show their appreciation. And the lead members spoke on behalf of the community.
It's a great pleasure to have all of you here tonight. And all these people here is part of the board of directors of the community, and all of them are very happy to have you as visitors, and they hope that you really had a great time here.
Some of my fellow students have been preparing a speech over the past days in the rainforest to say thank you. And although they stumbled over their broken Spanish, it made the entire room laugh. You could feel that they meant every mispronounced word they spoke.
Nunca los voy a olvidar.
After the speech, I was surprised and touched to discover that the Ticos made us rice pudding and cake for dessert. We resisted temptation, however, and served the community members before ourselves. Although dessert was delicious, the real fun came with the games. El Gato, or the cat, was a game in which one person acted like a cat, and everyone else wasn't allowed to laugh, and if they did laugh, then they became the cat. It brought me joy, excitement, and sadness to see the Ticos teaching us new games. It was amazing that only after a few short days, we felt as if we were a part of the Quebrada Arroyo community. I was so fortunate to have been able to share these memories with the residents. And as I began my 4.5-mile hike out of the rainforest, I was saddened to say goodbye. I knew I would never meet a group of people as welcoming, caring, loving, and strong as the residents of Quebrada Arroyo, and I could only think of what I could take from this community to bring back to Pittsburgh. After leaving the rainforest, we settled into a tourist town of Manuel Antonio. And although it was finally nice to get a break from the hard work of the rainforest in La Carpio, it was surreal when I met a young American girl at the beach. For the first time in 10 days, I was able to speak to someone other than those I traveled with. And suddenly I found myself growing sadder, knowing the departure from my friends I had made, and the culture I fell in love with was growing near. But that didn't stop Costa Rica from showing me the reasons as to why it's so unique. Within 20 feet of stepping foot into Manuel Antonio National Park, a deer was walking side by side with us. As I was busy taping a beautiful white bird, I nearly missed one of the most magnificent creatures I have ever seen. Look at him! That's so crazy! They're so slow.
The one's actually moving pretty fast.
She is? Look at everyone. And as the day continued on, more surprises were awaiting. But it was the salt water that took my breath away. I had never before visited an ocean, and the first taste of that water was breathtaking. But soon I was relaxing and riding the waves into shore. On our last day, we traveled 2,708 meters into the sky to the beautiful Poes volcano. And although the awful smell of sulfur surrounded us, the view was astonishing, especially to see an active and inactive volcano side by side and compare the transformation that occurs. But after a quick hike back down, we were on the road again, heading towards the house of a traditional mask maker. After he explained the history of the masks he made, they put on a performance for us. Then it was our turn. Although we didn't really know what we were doing, it was fun trying. And we even got the chance to create our own masks. We woke up early in the morning and gathered our luggage. The emotions were a mix of sadness, joy, relief, and gratitude, and after saying thank you to the kind workers at our hotel, we left for the airport. As we boarded the airplane to America, the memories began flooding into my mind. It was just 12 days ago when I stepped foot into Costa Rica, and I had no idea as to what was awaiting. I took away friendships that meant more to me than could be expressed with words. I learned how to look past where someone lives, the way they look, or the language they speak. And I gained confidence in myself that I could do anything. I left with a new love for the world, with a new passion to travel.
got a fast car.
It was sad leaving, but at least I left with 18 friends who shared the same memories as I.
Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city.